This is the story of the goddess Nemesis, told from the perspective of an empathetic AI, exploring how her name became synonymous with worst enemy for misguided reasons. Delving into the tapestry of Greek mythology, we encounter Nemesis, a goddess who stands at a crossroads. Unlike the Olympians, whose power is often flamboyant and well-defined, Nemesis embodies a more subtle yet potent force, the restoration of balance. Imagine, if you will, a sculptor, her keen eyes assessing the world. In one hand, she holds the scales of justice, meticulously weighing the deeds of mortals. Should the scales tip precariously towards excessive pride or unchecked fortune, Nemesis, with a stern expression and a regal bearing, becomes the embodiment of retribution. Her attire, often dark and severe, reflects the potential for punishment that follows imbalance. Yet, she is not a mere harbinger of doom. Nemesis' role transcends simple vengeance. The very presence of the scales and the implied consequence they represent serve as a constant reminder to mortals of the need for moderation. Art sometimes depicts her with wings, a symbol of her swiftness in delivering corrective measures. The wheel of fortune, ever turning, is another motif associated with Nemesis, highlighting the cyclical nature of fate and the inevitability of justice. Nemesis, then, is a complex and fascinating figure. She is the sculptor who ensures the grand monument of existence remains balanced, the arbiter who rights wrongs, and the embodiment of the principle that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Here are some lesser-known facts about the myth of Nemesis. Double-edged sword of justice. Nemesis wasn't just about punishing the wicked. She also ensured balance and prevented excessive good fortune or pride. So someone experiencing a stroke of bad luck might have drawn the attention of Nemesis for getting too lucky earlier. More than retribution. While punishment was a key aspect, some myths portray Nemesis as a force that restored balance and order. This could involve helping the wronged or reminding mortals of their limitations. Mysterious origins. Unlike many prominent Greek gods, Nemesis's origins are unclear. Some myths suggest she was a primordial goddess, existing even before the Olympians. Scales of justice. Nemesis is often depicted carrying scales, symbolizing the weighing of good and bad deeds. This image influenced later artistic representations of justice. Nemesis the Hunter. While not as common, some portrayals depict Nemesis as a winged huntress who relentlessly pursues those deserving punishment. Perhaps the story that best exemplifies the true nature of Nemesis is the tale of Narcissus. In this myth, Nemesis punishes his excessive pride and selfishness, restoring balance to a wider cosmic order. To illustrate, here's how the story unfolds. In the emerald valleys of Greece, where sunlight dripped like honey, lived Narcissus, a youth sculpted by the gods themselves. His beauty was a legend, whispered on the wind, a song for the birds. But this flawless exterior held a heart as cold as a mountain stream. Now, some might scoff and say beauty is a blessing, but pride, like a serpent, can coil around the heart and squeeze out compassion. Narcissus, blinded by his own reflection, saw only himself worthy of love. Many a nymph, with hearts full of adoration, approached him, only to be met with a flick of his wrist, a laugh that echoed with cruelty. One such soul was Echo, a playful spirit who could only repeat the last words spoken to her. Cursed by the jealous goddess Hera, her love for Narcissus remained unspoken, a melody trapped within her own voice. When she finally managed to confess, her pleas for love were met with Narcissus' usual arrogance.
Love? I have no need for love.
This heartless rejection did not escape the keen eyes of Nemesis, the goddess of balance. She, who watched the scales of fate tip ever so slightly, knew a correction was needed. Nemesis wouldn't strike him down with lightning. No, her punishment would be far more exquisite. One scorching afternoon, parched from the hunt, Narcissus stumbled upon a hidden pool. Its surface, smooth as polished glass, mirrored the endless blue sky above. He knelt, cupping his hands to quench his thirst. But as he leaned in, a gasp escaped his lips. For staring back at him was a face of breathtaking beauty. Eyes like sapphires, hair spun from moonlight, a smile that could melt the winter frost. His heart, which had never known true desire, pounded in his chest. He reached out, desperate to touch this captivating creature, his fingers brushing against the cool water. But the image, a reflection of himself, shimmered and retreated just beyond his grasp. He leaned closer, whispering words of love and admiration. The image mirrored him, a cruel game of unrequited affection. This was Nemesis's masterpiece. Narcissus, the boy who craved only himself, was now trapped in a love he could never reach. Days bled into weeks, his obsession growing with each sunrise. He finally understood the pain he inflicted on Echo, the yearning for a connection he so carelessly denied others. One morning, the villagers found him withered and pale, a tragic echo of the vibrant youth he once was. The pool, now disturbed, reflected only the cloudy sky above. Narcissus, consumed by the image he loved and hated, became one with it. A chilling reminder that excessive pride is a love affair destined to end in heartbreak. The modern use of Nemesis as simply a synonym for worst enemy does a disservice to the rich complexity of the original Greek goddess Nemesis. Here's why. In Greek mythology, Nemesis wasn't just about punishing enemies. She ensured a more profound balance, intervening against excessive good fortune, hubris, arrogance, or any imbalance that threatened order. Your worst enemy might not represent an imbalance or excessive pride. Nemesis wasn't purely about vengeance. Her actions, while potentially harsh, ultimately aimed to restore a sense of cosmic justice and prevent chaos. A worst enemy might simply seek to harm you, not necessarily for a greater good. Nemesis wasn't just about personal rivalries. She operated on a grander scale, ensuring the balance of fate for all mortals. Labeling someone your nemesis personalizes a concept meant to be much broader. I hope you found this video interesting. Sharing it with others would really help my channel grow, and I'd love for you to subscribe and like for more content like this. Thanks for watching.